Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and today I am streaming The Lord of the Rings Online. I finally made it here to the stream, so I believe everything is up and working now, so obviously had quite a few delays and even got to the stream a lot later than I was originally intending this morning. That's why I'm sometimes hesitant to try to schedule streams so early, even if I do intend to do them early as a little bit of background info. But we're finally here and ready to check out round 2 of the Before the Shadow beta coming. November 8th would be the scheduled launch date for the expansion, so in just a couple weeks from now. But also, I am intending, with the leftover time, as much as that might not be so much today, to level some characters on the live servers after we check a few things out in beta. So if you all have anything you want to see in beta, now would be the time to let me know, or really the next, I don't know, half hour or so, and we can try to check that out, especially if it's not just repeating something I did last time, so it's something a little bit new. So yeah, please do let me know. And I think that's pretty much it for the setup info. So we're going to be going, yeah, I chose my Runekeeper. Why I logged into him is because I wanted to check out a tier 10 delving on my Runekeeper. Last time we did it on the Warden, so I figured might as well do a different class, and I'm going to do Warden. Also, I hear a weird noise, so I will be right back. Okay, I actually don't know what that was. I thought I might have accidentally left my sink running, the tap water, like not shut it off all the way, but I don't think it was that. Anyway, I didn't need to go on a mount, so we're going to Before the Shadowland, and I should, because there was no reset, I should just be able to go to the Stable Masters map, port somewhere kind of random, and get going with the delving so we can actually get started and jumping into the action relatively early here. And Rift Magos 15 minutes late isn't too bad, except you might not have seen that I at one point had this stream scheduled for 4 p.m., which is like 2 hours 45 minutes ago. And then I was a bit busy with stuff, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it an hour and a half later. So I think I jumped all the way to 5:30. And then I was like, okay, this isn't going to be possible. So I did 6, and I thought 6 would actually work, but then I ran into some issues and I set it for 6:30, and that was still too early. But we are finally here and checking things out. So, on that note, what's the deal with this character? Does he have... He at least has virtues. They're stuck at the old level 80 cap before they raised those. Like back when I actually used to play endgame content in Gundabad, the cap was level 80, so it's obviously been increased since then. Otherwise, I'm guessing, I really hope I don't need to play blue line. I don't think delvings would be a good system if I need to play blue line to get through it solo. But yeah, I assume we'll go lightning for the kiting. It's just a good solo spec. Also, I'm going to plug in my speakers so I can charge while they're doing this today. There we go. Also, while I'm on the streak of charging, I'm also going to plug my phone up because it has just been charging slow lately for some reason. I don't know if it's an issue with the phone or my chargers, but I've been too lazy to look into it beyond that. Anyway, let's go ahead and build out a yellow line Runekeeper. It might be slightly different than what I would normally do, just for concerns out of trying to solo a tier 10, which yes, I don't have gold on this character. We'll have to fix that. I forget you have to have gold to just jump into a higher tier. But yeah, my build might be a little bit different than what I would usually use, just out of concern of trying to solo the tier 10 delving. So we'll get that. Most of this stuff is pretty standard so far, but I think some of the odd choices could come into play later. Definitely want, I think, flashing images. That's the name of that trait. That one will be probably helpful and not harmful. Okay, yeah, I think that will be helpful. Self-motivation, getting a heal from that will be nice. I don't think we can get to the point. Yeah, I don't know if we can get to hasten determination, but we can try. That would actually be not a bad idea for something to look out towards, would be my guess. There are some interesting things in the blue line I could get. That's why I would be initially hesitant about that. Definitely want more tactical damage. Why not just more self-motivation? This is really strange to me, but I'll go, I don't know, Essence of Flame. Doesn't really matter at that point. Okay, this is actually not too hard to get to, and we can get increased physical mitigation. This is all fire stuff. I don't intend to use fire skills, but it's actually something to think about to like pull a mob if I want to use Scathing Mockery, for example. That is something to think about, but let's go ahead and put some points in the blue line. Let's see, this would leave me with one thing. Okay, I think I'll just get the Power Restore. Actually, if I'm going to spend points on anything, I think it could be Scathing Mockery. I don't think I'll use it, but we'll try it out. Have to make a decision at some point. So skill bar is going to be really funky to set up, but let's do this, because why not? Okay, and then I'm going to, ooh, where do I want? Probably want self-motivation down here, so that'll be 9. I can use it on the go. 146k, that's a pretty decent heal on a, what is it, like 20 second, maybe even 15 second cooldown. Okay, so now that I got the character set up and ready to run delvings, we actually are not ready to run delvings because I need to get me some gold. And I'll switch characters real quick, send this character the gold because he happens to be broke. I could go to the Isengard Tavern, but I think that would take longer than just sending over what I need from my Warden. I'm really excited to see what they have changed with delvings. I've heard there is no reflect this week, and that when the reflect is going to be in rotation for whatever they're calling this stuff with delvings, it will be a little bit different than what we saw last time. So the reflect was, a lot of people disliked it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, and I think it's something that's really class dependent, which isn't necessarily a good thing. So like as a Warden in particular, what? This is all from the beta. So I don't know what this is about. Do you just get these boxes again? That's really weird. I've never even seen that. Is that a Moria thing? I'm actually sorry to get distracted by my mail. Oh, this is a delving Zircon. Okay, I didn't read that it was delving. So it looks like there is going to be a quest when you log in before the Shadow, if you're level 140 presumably, because delvings are only available for level 140s. As far as I know, we could always double check that, confirm that. Gotta make sure I get the 7 in there, and we're just going to, I'm going to go ahead and send everything, so I have whatever I'm doing on. Oh, I wish they'd put all these currency things together. This is already going to cost me 66 gold to send it. Wow. That's a really expensive postage. Would definitely use shared storage if it were, at this current moment, more convenient, but it is actually not. But yeah, otherwise with the changes, that's something I meant to get to. Well, we can eventually get to it. So differences in beta round 2 versus round 1. I already mentioned the delving. There's no reflect up, but they have some new mechanics for this week for us to test out. There's also going to be dread. So dread's going to be in any area that is affected by a malice greater than tier 2. We also saw, my first time running the delving, the tier 10 delvings, that some mobs would aggro from very far away, and then they would even pull mobs in the middle of combat or whatever, also from very far away. So they added a description, I think, about that somewhere. I can't find it right now, but there were some, it could even have been a dev post, but they added something about it. It's like an intended mechanic, basically. It also looks like we have new missions. Still only 6 missions a day. I don't think there's any other set of missions. I kind of got myself thinking, what if Swanfleet actually has its own set of missions? That's possible, but I don't think that would be the case. but we could always check the other zone out. I just randomly was thinking about that, that I didn't know if I actually got to everything. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this character's mail. Looks like, yeah, he has pretty much the same stuff. And we should be able to buy a tier 10 delving item, because that's what we're gonna jump into. And what sounds fun? Bite the hand actually sounds fun. Oh, this is Uruks. That's what a lot of these is gonna be. Uruks, Urukai. The hand out. How about this one? They all sound basically the same in the very brief skim through. Okay, so we have our delving opal, we have all this stuff that'll eventually go away, so we can ignore that. I'm going to make sure I'm actually recording locally here, and just in case I use this footage in videos, but okay, so this actually shows you the rewards. I did not pay attention to this last time. Hello, NS? But we have a tier 10 delving chest, so that's the reward for beating back the darkness. Okay, that's the way it says it. And then we'll get a delving opal, so we will get a completely... We'll just get this. So if we succeed, it sounds like we do get to maintain the opal. Okay. So we'll do that. Now we have tier 10, and now we have +7 dread. That's okay. That seems okay. Dread isn't my favorite thing. Because this is beta, I'm going to open the store and... Actually, should I? No, I shouldn't do that for the test. We'll see how things go before I go to the LOTRO store and do some pay to win. We'll see if this needs pay to win. I guess before we get started is a good time to point out with my gear, I don't have great gear. I have some okayish gear from relatively early in the expansion days. So a mix of like high 450s, some 460s, some 460s, but also some gear that is a bit lower level, like 430, just a couple pieces. And my pocket item still from level 51. Wow. I also don't think I've completely reforged my LIs. So if you're actually, I should probably do that because that could be a pretty big stat boost. But if we leave the mission, we fail the delving. So we are not going to do that. And let's see what we got here. We have a corruption this time. So that is just on every harmful skill on critical hit. It gives a duration of 20 seconds and cooldown of 30 seconds. So I have no idea what that does. So Mooscat, yeah, I said dread isn't my favorite thing, and you're wondering if the inverse is ever true. In flavorful situations, it can be, but as a mechanic, I'm trying to think, like in a mechanic in raids or even landscape, if you just come across an area with dread, I don't think it is going to ever be, like, I don't think the inverse is ever true there. But if you're in some more cinematic or story-based thing, I honestly don't know if I can kill two of these guys at once. I want to fight a single one before I fight two on this character. Like, because he's not a warden, I am actually a lot more scared than if he were a warden. But yeah, otherwise, not too much. Warden is probably going to be difficult to get started with because of the gambit system, but otherwise it is a great class. That's basically how I always describe it. Okay, I wanted to see if they still don't have descriptions for what these malices are. We still have that delving strength. So let's remove the corruption and see what happens. Okay, it just removes. Oh, wrong stone. I didn't even know I had the firestone, which I guess makes sense. I spec'd into that. I also forgot how to play Lightning Runekeeper, so bear with me a minute as I try to... Oh yeah, we have mob spawn, don't we? Wait, no, we don't have mob spawn this time. So last week, we had a whole bunch of mobs just keep chain spawning. But I don't know if it was like 3 per mob. You would just have random delving mob spawn, but this time there were some fungus-looking things. Spores, is that what they would be called? I kind of wanted to see what this effect is. Also, I have that thing where I can use Epic Conclusion, I think? Yes. Remove my debuff. Anyway, these things seem to pop out when a mob dies, and then they eventually disappear. We still have a poisonous gas cloud here, which does... Oh, reduces finesse and critical chance, so it's not damage, but a debuff. I think I'm at the point where I can take 2 at once, especially considering Lightning Runekeeper has a lot of crowd control. Okay, so there are actually ground puddles going on even when I'm not killing a mob, and I'm actually getting a lot of dread here. They do a lot of damage to me. That is the case. Is there a way to get rid of this dread? Like, I have a hope token. I don't know if I'm a fan of... Thinking back to, am I ever a fan of dread, but... This one reduces my max morale. I don't know, it just feels odd. That's the way I would describe it right now. My first time in this delving compared to the other one, it just feels odd. Now, taking a step back and thinking generally about the mission, I personally am a fan of kind of relatively simple missions like this one. It might seem odd that having something that's almost more shallow in its implementation, I actually think is a good thing, but that is the case. I think missions are well suited when they're straightforward like this. But that's just, for me personally, something I've picked up on. So, oh, there's a mob out there. I'm guessing those are the regular zone mobs, but anyway. I keep going, like, to not great places to pick mobs off. I also don't know where my daze is. Like, where is that in my skill bar? Okay, it's at control 1. So let's see. Also, this time I will remove the corruption. So we're going to daze this guy, and I'm just going to use that to finish him off. So yeah, it's not too bad overall. And I have tools again, it's just been a long while with the Runekeeper. I ain't playing it as great as I could. I think Runekeeper are like with many classes, they could benefit from plugins. Which I know I intended, I think it was this year that I intended to start delving, to be thematic, delving into plugins, but I never did get around to doing that. I just don't like plugins, but the intention was to kind of get over that dislike, so to speak, and try some out and review them as somebody who doesn't typically use plugins, add-ons, even in other games. So if you just run in and kill things, there's no reflect to worry about, so I can just run in and kill things and be fairly fine. This character's not the best geared, to be honest. He has relatively low health, so considering that, I also should probably wait until I have abilities up, like having my AoE stun from the runestone, and not the fire runestone. That's actually messing me up. That would be helpful. So that's a soldier. Okay, so he cannot kill me from there, presumably if he is actually a melee soldier. But yeah, this is actually even quicker than my Warden was going through the missions, considering that I don't have to worry about a reflect. And it's not like the Runekeeper is weak. I'm obviously doing pretty decent damage. I just gotta take a moment to get used to some of these keybinds. I'd actually consider rearranging like that. Okay, there we go. So this would be a little bit of an interesting scenario. I think I'm good to just rush this guy. Okay, good. Yeah, it seems like if you stand close to mobs for a while, you'll start building that dread, which really limits your max health. But once you get the mechanic down, I guess it's not too bad. I still feel, it just feels funky with the dread, is how I describe it. But it's something that you can kind of get around, it seems. Well, unless you're a melee class. I say you can get around, but I am a... Oh, that stun's not good, though. But yeah, I'm a Runekeeper, so I can kind of run away from these guys a little bit. Let's not pretend this is a perfect environment for running away from enemies. Although it does let me, like, the line of sight issues and mob pathing does actually give me a chance to breathe and not deal with the mobs for a moment. Okay, so I'm basically waiting until I get the buff, Concession Rebuttal, I think it's called. It's this one. Maybe. Okay, maybe it's Closing Remarks. But anyway, that's why I don't always use Epic Conclusion when it's off cooldown, is I typically wait until that buff. Concession and Rebuttal, that's the cooldown skill, isn't it? Yeah, I was thinking Closing Remarks. Okay, find 2 more Urukai. Ennis, glad you have learning the LOTRO from me. Glad you are learning the LOTRO from me. And glad it's been helpful, my videos, guides, streams, whatever it is. And yeah, Moose Cat with the... Glad somebody else actually feels the way I do about plugins and add-ons. Yeah, DPS meter, that's... That is one in World of Warcraft I admittedly used, I think, too much. It's something that I wasn't really liking the way I was playing the game because I was just chasing the highest number on the DPS meter when I would play WoW and have it up, like doing dungeons, heroics, whatever. And that was something that I grew to not be the biggest fan of. Also, we got done with this delving like really quick compared to what I was doing on the Warden with the reflex, so that's a lot better. I would say if I had to compare last week to this week, just based on those mechanics that I have seen in these delvings, I'm a much bigger fan of the implementation that they have this week. Also, I can talk to the scout. Can I? Oh no. Wait, I couldn't turn in the delving. Oh, speak with the mission giver, okay. Last time, y'all might have seen, I kept getting booted out of the mission and could not turn in the delving. Did not say anything with failed. So tier 10 delving, we can finally see the rewards. Okay, so we did not get any gear from that. We got 1,000 virtue XP. Was that listed in the rewards? It might have been. Or did I get new deed? I don't know what I got the 1,000 virtue XP from, to be honest, but if they give you 1,000 virtue XP for doing a delving, that would be a nice additional reward. So let's remind ourselves, let's remind ourselves what the rewards are for delving. So if I'm a runekeeper right here, I need 1,500 of these delving writs for, hold up. Is that the lowest? So one of the things that I have seen a little bit of concern from players about is what sort of like lower tier or medium tier rewards do they offer? But it looks like there's only one tier, so to speak, of rewards, like one level of rewards, and it is teal. And then you can upgrade from that. So you can upgrade, it looks like, if you get a necklace. I don't know how you get that initial necklace. I don't know if that's something you have to rely on a drop from. But anyway, if we go to the upgrades... Oh yeah, maybe it's from crafting, actually. That would be my guess, that it's from crafting, but either way. You can upgrade stuff from delving writs. Eventually you'll need tons and tons of those to get the mithril cloak thread, which is to upgrade to a gold cloak. So that kind of makes sense that you would need a lot of resources, more resources for that than the 140 light armor. But I guess the concern is there's no lower tier stuff. Maybe you can get gear like RNG, kind of like instance boss chests. You can get gear from the tier 10 delving chest. So that is what we need to test out now. But we got 55 delving writs. That's not that many for a tier 10 delving. But if you can run them quickly, I guess this is a broader conversation, so let's wait for that. And I got a delving box of crafting gems. Okay, that's not particularly great. 3 polished sunstones. Okay, that's not great to see. But yeah, the thing with the delvings and the rewards is if you can run them very fast, it would make sense that individual delvings would not give like huge rewards. But going into this, The way I thought the system would work was that delvings would actually take a long time to do, like it would be expected to take 20-30 minutes maybe, but if they all take 5-10 minutes, I guess I have to set my expectations with the rewards to be a little bit lower. But it would be nice eventually. I think players will get this information out, but everything you can get from the tier 10 and all the lower tiers, not just tier 10, it's just the max difficulty that's like the biggest reward. I think the most exciting. It's not something that necessarily every player will want to run or will run, but I think it's for a lot of people that want to get the most out of the system. It's probably the starting point for them. That's why I keep testing tier 10, and that's why it's the first thing I jump into is tier 10, because that will be the starting point for me when this all gets released. Oops, I totally messed things up there, but I think I got an epic conclusion out. I'm gonna try something, just staying in this bad stuff for a moment. Okay. But yeah, if you can run through the missions really quick, it would make sense that the rewards are less. But it really depends. I think my overall impressions on the reward system heavily depends on that chest and what you can get in it. Like, can gear drop directly from that? Can traceries drop directly from that? What are the drop rates? That type of thing is basically what the weight of my impressions of the delving reward system depends on. And I also wonder if this is going to be a system where you can only do 10 a day, but if it's kind of expected that you'll have to do 10 a day to really keep up and get your rewards, or if it's something that will feel fine to more so casually, I guess, participate in, like if you play once or twice a week, or maybe can only do 1 or 2 missions a day, or even 1 or 2 missions a week, how long it will take you to get whatever rewards there are, whether it's the teal stuff you can barter for or anything else that they eventually have in it. Like what the expectation is for that, how long it would take you to get pieces of gear. If there's any big benefit for doing your first mission a day, or even delving, I mean. When I say mission, I meant delving. If there's a big benefit for your first delving of the day, there doesn't seem to be anything like that I can tell in the game. And okay, I was wondering if that would just stun me every time. So I'm okay, so it causes me to be unsteady. I'm guessing there is a stun, because I have stun immunity right now. I think 10 more seconds, so it's going to be hard to test. I was just going to see if I got auto-stunned every time I walked into it. But yeah, I'd be curious kind of the long-term implementation of it, and how that would look basically with the rewards. It still seems something to me like the meta strategy, since people love the word meta, will be to just run it duo to get it done fast and get the biggest rewards in the least amount of time, be as efficient as possible. I think it's easier to just get this done and then walk past it instead of waiting for the puddle to totally drop. That is not ideal. Also, you all might notice I'm like getting through this fairly easily. We've already killed 11 mobs in. Is meta, did it really start as an acronym? Most effective tactic available? Or is it an acronym that people made out of the word? Meta itself, as far as I know, is an actual word, but that would be interesting if it also came from the acronym. I just have never heard most effective tactic available. Okay, let's see if we can do a signature and 2 normals. I should probably focus on the normals. I just want to AoE down the 2 normals while I focus on the signature, but I don't think that'd be a good idea. Also, I did not get any crits, which isn't the most helpful. Got a nice long days though. Okay, let's try to stun them. They might be stun immune though. Control 1, that's the ability. Although I have the fire runestone who's going to wake him up. I should have switched. Okay, I'm being a noob right here. Oh, that's not good. I thought I was in healing. Hold up. I don't have anything to switch. Okay, we're just gonna... There we go. This is really bad. Please don't follow my Runekeeper gameplay here. I guess the good news is me playing a bad Runekeeper could still get through it. It just took a little bit of running away and resettling. Okay, so once you get here, it seems like you don't have to worry about the instance booting you out if you actually complete the mission, which is good. Okay, definitely was a word before acronym. Yeah, that's what I was wondering in more of the gaming scene, if it was like that word came into popularity from people from an acronym, basically, versus just use of the word. Because I know meta, I don't know, I think of it as like a prefix to other words as well. Okay, turn in the mission and you can still turn in the delving. I guess we can just see, I mean, these are going fast, so... Wait. What did I get the soil from? Oh, that must have been something else, I guess. Delving box of crafting wood. Yeah, this is really not ideal if you only get crafting stuff. I'm just holding out hope that there are more rewards than crafting stuff. Because this is... Also, that one only gave me 50 delving writs. It did not give me 55 delving writs as far as I can tell. I don't know if that's a 5 bonus for your first one of the day again, but we can run these a couple more times just because they're so quick. I was not actually, honestly, not anticipating this being so quick to run the delving, which I guess is good. Oh, hey, I did this one on the Warden. So I'll have a direct comparison. They have the same missions up, it seems like. I forget how many missions there are supposed to be. I thought it was something in like 30, 40 range for this mini expansion, but I guess they only have the same 6 available. Okay, I still have the Hope Token buff. Do I have any Virtue XP things? I do not. Also, still I have not reforged my ally, so could be doing even more damage for like just a very easy upgrade that would not require much time investment from where my character started. But yeah, it looks like whatever day it is, or whatever like sort of rotation system they have for the delvings, every day is the... or every mission for that day or week or whatever it's going to be is the same. Like all the delving affixes are the same between the missions I have been running today. Actually, I don't know if that stun was the best idea, but it doesn't matter. I really need to bring a character like a champion, because that is just my impressions playing this. Not that I play the champion all that frequently, or even all that well for this, for that matter, is that this would be tougher on a melee class like the champion. I just think champion being the relatively basic, straightforward DPS melee class that it is, that these could be tough on the DPS specs. That said, you could maybe play blue line champion decently in these, and that's the other reason I'd just be curious about the champion in this. Because a lot of this stuff seems melee unfriendly, with the reflex last week not necessarily being melee unfriendly, but kind of DPS unfriendly. And then this week they have all this puddle stuff and dread or melee range. Otherwise, I'm going through this significantly faster than my Warden was last week. It's a crazy thing not having to worry about reflex. I can just sit here and be explosive with my lightning and hope I don't take too much damage that I die. Just kill the Uruks before they kill me. Okay, so we need to go to the boss room before I just kill too many of these side mobs. I think the boss is up near this way. I also... okay, I still have my hope token buff. Yeah, my character maintenance is not particularly great. I also haven't done anything, well, until recently. Hadn't done anything Gundabad related for quite a few months, so I just didn't even log in those characters all that much. So I believe the injured leader, I thought he was in here. Let's see. Yeah, I thought this was going to be the leader's room. Maybe not. I think this is the same mission I was doing on the Warden. Maybe I need to defeat all the melee Urukai and the leader will appear. Imagine if this actually required me to do something other than backpedaling in my kiting. Oh, see, that's the problem. That's why I backpedal, because it's safer. They're steady hands. Okay, I believe they are both up and awake. But I can still... I can't see on the map. That's actually a the mini-map. Kind of a problem here. I think I'm safe, though. I shouldn't die from here. Anyway, we got all our melee guys, and hopefully we can find the leader. Maybe the leader also spawns randomly, which would... I think that would actually be a bit interesting, if that is the case. Like, it at least changes up the mission. It's not the exact same every time. Assuming the leader actually is here and it's not broken. Hopefully. So yeah, for the second phase of the stream though, I guess it's kind of relevant with the character leveling that I intend to do. I'll basically be doing... oh, spawns right at the start of the mission? Well, that's odd. Last time they definitely did not spawn right at the start of the mission. Unless, I mean, this is, as far as I can tell, the exact same mission that I did on the Warden. But I will, yeah, go back there. Oh yeah, so with the character leveling, this is kind of, I guess, the second part of my Before the Shadow prep streams as well. I might have a stream dedicated more to that and discussing my plans for how I'm preparing for the mini expansion, because I think it might seem weird that I'm preparing for a mini expansion that's level 1 to 32, supposedly 1 to 32. Oh, you were saying it'd be funny if he spawned right at the start of the mission. Well, I basically ran everywhere trying to go back to the start, so I might as well check the start. I got dread. I thought that guy aggroed me. Just zap him a few times and we're all set. So I'd expect the leader to spawn with two mobs near him. That almost looked like an orc at first. Very nice view here, by the way. But yeah, the reason I'm preparing for the mini expansion is 1, the delving system, 2, the skirmish, which I don't have to do much prep for that, to be honest, and 3, yeah, pretty much just the delving system. Oh yeah, so number 3, there actually really is a number 3, and it's more number 1. So number 1 reason I'm preparing for the mini expansion is the clash trait point changes. just because I'd like to organize some of my characters that I wouldn't mind leveling now that that system will be changed. I wonder if I just have to walk up to this area and he'll randomly appear. I don't know why that'd be the case, but with all the weird stuff that happened last week, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Okay, I think I'm out of all the bad stuff until now. Okay, not seeing the boss here. Could be to the east, but I think we are getting kind of walled off there. Could also be that he just didn't spawn, which would be a little bit rough. Like this particular delving, I think, is taking quite a bit longer than the previous two just because I'm having to search around, not because of the delving mechanics. And this is bringing flashbacks back to the searching for the scout and then getting booted out. And I could leave the instance, but then I'd fail the delving. We'll see, maybe the leader, the area is okay, so he is actually over here. Good evening, Bella. I don't know why I'm trying to stun him right now, but... What? Invalid target. Oh, he actually is phasing. Is he summoning these ads? See, I was not expecting ads to join. I actually would have handled this fight differently. Had I expected this. This is gonna be bad if I stay here. Let's get moving. Okay, what do we have for mob health? Let's get the soldier, which is really weird because I should be trying to get the archer first. Now let's stun them. Wait, there's an archer on top of this? Okay, yeah, let's get the archer. Hello, mobs? I'm only going to assume they're stunned is why they're not attacking me or chasing me. This is really weird. Hello, Robert. Where are all these mobs coming from? Like, where'd the boss go? This is so weird. They must be like calling each other over to help, kind of like last time. Okay, there's the boss. He's still targeting me, but he's back to full health. Hopefully that hits the boss. It did not stun him if it did, so I'm gonna go this way. Okay, I believe all the ads are dead. Oh, the boss activated. Once his stun immunity is done, I will stun him. Okay, there we go. Oh, I still have mobs chasing me. He just keeps pulling them. This is weird. Maybe that's what was happening. Oh my. This isn't going to do anything useful, but there we go. Something I can do while running. Okay, hopefully that hit more than one. Oh, I have them coming from both sides. That is not good. We need them all chasing me from one side. I also need the thing to make that one thing heal. Do I have premium potions? Do I have potions? Not just premium potions. There we go. Okay. If I could do a pull in the middle of the fight, I would. Do you all think I will live or not live? Okay. Oh, my health went down way low. Something hit me. Why are we swimming? That's not a good idea. Yeah, it could pull any mobs left alive in this. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Don't let the archers hit me. That's what I've learned. I do have a hope token up, actually, believe it or not. Yeah, their dread here is real dread. Yeah, it does look like, oh, something's in anti-exploit mode. Oops. Okay, that was a nice stun. Perfect. Although this is kind of a waste. Okay, where'd the boss go? Is he back over here? This time the goal is for him to not have any friends to call. Oh no. Oh, so he does just completely summon them. This is a phase type thing. Okay. I would say this is at least interesting challenge, assuming the boss fight does eventually finish. That guy's not even aggroed on me. Why bother? Oh, do I have to kill him for the boss to activate? Maybe that's what it is. And then it seemed like he also pulled a lot more mobs. Yeah, orcs are kind of scary when they have the power of friendship. Oh, and then even more at spawn? What is this? Like, I thought I was figuring this out, but honestly, not anymore. At least the boss isn't active. Like, I know it's probably not safe to be around him because of the dread, but there's some safety there. And the archers, they just hit me for a lot, which isn't necessarily a problem, but oh, and it also doesn't help if I press spacebar in the middle of inducting. That's like not inherently a problem, but it's like makes the tier 10 delving difficult. It's almost as if it makes sense. And then he's going to regenerate all his health and then come attempt to fight me again. I don't know how many times you have to go through the gauntlet of ads though. Hopefully that's it. That was a bad epic conclusion. Find the scout. Every time that comes up, I get scared that I'll get booted out, but things seem to work now. That was pretty intense.
What can I do for you?
Let's hope this chest gives me something, some better reward for all that time, effort. Nope. Box of crafting hides. Doomfold. Wait, why am I getting Doomfold hides? Like, not only does... what? Not only is it bad that you just get crafting stuff, I wouldn't mind if you got, like, crafting stuff and some other stuff from the chest. But... why Doomfold? I was trying to look up to see what the other stuff I got. Did I get, like, Doomfold tier stuff previously? Hello, Leisure Leaf. Glad you love the content and all the informative videos have helped. Hope you enjoy the stream as well. But yeah, same reward basically. That's tough. I will say though, the delvings, I don't know if the novelty will wear off quickly when this comes live. Like if I'll have the motivation to play them enough to get a piece of gear. But... because it's going to take a lot of these. It's going to take like 30 of these based on the progress I have so far. 30 delvings, 30 tier 10 delvings to barter for one piece of gear, which is 3 days if you do 10 a day. Can you even do 10 a day? Maybe this would require 5. I was thinking 10 missions a day because that's what like the previous couple have been. But I don't even know if that's the case here. I don't know if there's any other, like, is there another missions person? I thought I'd check that out. It wouldn't make much sense to me if there is, but I don't know, it could be worth going to Swanfleet, even though all these missions have been located in Swanfleet as far as I know. Just to check. But yeah, that would actually be 5 days, I think. Yeah, if there are 6 missions, it would take 5 days to do 30 missions to get 1 teal piece of gear. Which again, 30 missions, if they are quick, if it's like 5 minutes a mission, that'd be a little over 2 hours, 2.5 hours for a teal piece of gear. That's like if you're doing a raid, and this is supposed to be like tier 3 raid equivalent gear, without set bonuses, unfortunately. I think they really should add solo-oriented set bonuses, like stuff that would be actually beneficial for soloing stuff, to these. But that aside... Okay, this does not seem like the place to be. That aside, if it really is like... Yeah, 2.5 hours, would you get better than a single teal piece of gear from a raid in 2.5 hours? Like, if a raid takes 2.5 hours, which I think would be reasonable time for a raid, I don't know if the current Gundabad raid takes 2.5 hours. If that is reasonable. Also, the other part of it is... Can we finally go to Western Oregon? Nope. Can we go to Tornad? Oh yeah, this thing will limit Aethel. I don't know, let's try that one. But, oh, what was I going on about? I had to think about what I was saying for a moment, and then I got off of it when I was trying to travel. But yeah, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it'd be a great thing. 1 piece of gear for 2.5 hours. It's gear that you would likely eventually want to replace. It's not like the max top tier gear. That's just 1 piece. Oh yeah, so here's another mission scout. These are actually different missions. Okay, so we have some good news. For some weird reason, they actually do have 2 different sets of missions in the 2 zones. Not saying that's a bad thing, it's just... I'd probably prefer it if that was not the case, like if they had, at each of the missions giver, they had all 13 missions or had 2 missions givers there, but maybe this is okay. I don't know. If y'all have any thoughts on that, I'd be curious what people think. But yes, there are actually 13 missions. But you can only do 10 delvings a day. I was thinking, okay, you can do 13 missions, so that means in like 2.5 days of doing every single mission, you could get 1 piece of gear, but it's still not the case. You're limited to 10 delvings a day, so it's going to be 3 days of 10 delvings to get... Mother of Wolves sounds fun. To get the thing you need. Yeah, to get a teal piece of gear. And that's not even... So that's to get a teal piece of gear. But let's say you don't want the gear and you want to go through the delving rewards upgrade system. So to get a lump of brilliant silver, which would turn your purple into a teal, or a gossamer cloak thread, which would turn your purple cloak into a teal cloak, it takes 2,500. So that's like, I guess that'd be like 5-ish days. I'd have to actually think about that. Yeah, so that'd be... Yeah, 5 days. If it's 500 a day, that would be 5 days. To get that. And that's 5 days of doing 10 missions. So that has the opportunity cost of you're doing the 10 delvings a day at the cost of something else that you could be doing in the game to get rewards is the... I think an important consideration. So there's also, I guess, the concern of how much the missions themselves or even delvings are worth running with deeds and getting other rewards. So far we have not seen much with other rewards besides crafting. Very little, like very few crafting resources at that. You do get Grey Flood marks. I don't know if they finally added a rep vendor. Don't see... Wait, delving reward? Oh, there actually was a delving back down there. These are new places, right? I couldn't go to them on the Stable Masters map, but I think that's Inadoith. Or I think that's not Inadoith. This is Inadoith. That place is called Mar Tulha. I never did see the connection, so that is something else. Today's not all about delvings and rewards and XP and leveling characters. It is also about... Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well. Min in World Chat. Min and Helen, I think is their name. We're asking about the base necklace and cloak. But I have not seen those or seen a source of those. It might be in one of the plugins might have information on that. I wouldn't doubt some people have that info already, but I do not. Oh yeah, there are also, wow, that's a lot though. And these are single-use recipes, so this is another thing. It's 3 days, 30 missions. That's a better way to phrase it than 3 days. 30 missions to get a single-use recipe for these World of Craft traceries, which aren't necessarily bad traceries, but that's a lot of grinding to get that. And I don't know if this is like Gundabad Word of Heraldry. I'd assume that's teal. That would be 90. That's a lot of missions. 90 missions for a Heraldry selection box, which would... I would really hope at that point that it's the gold. 90 tier 10 delvings. So yeah, just for anybody that might have missed when I say missions or delvings here, the number of them, like 30, I mean specifically 30 tier 10 delvings, so the max difficulty delvings. So yeah, those are the recipes. We've looked at the gear. One thing that I have not looked at, just to remind myself, the missions rewards themselves, they do have some 140 stuff. So like this is something you could also build towards while running the delvings. You'll get the mission rewards eventually, which maybe like the boots don't look initially to me too bad, but I don't know what other options there are. But it has fairly efficient stats. The wrist, I would not expect that to be wanted by all too many people, but like it could be a decent option if you just don't have anything better. I could definitely see that just with all the stats on it being better than an item level 430 or 446 bracelet that a character like this might have. So there are other stuff you can get outside of the delving, but from the delving itself, like isolating it from the missions, you can get cosmetics. I'm sure a lot of people like even just get the cosmetics, but that's still a lot to get the Brick Corgi, Dusky Netherhound. Perhaps some stuff for people that aren't interested in the gear to work towards if they like cosmetics and housing decorations, which again, there are a lot of people that like that. But it'll take a while to get those as well, it looks like. You could spend 100 of these for a return to Andrath. I'd honestly, with how many of these you need, I'd even consider 100 of them quite valuable. That's like 2 tier 10 delvings worth. 2 tier 10 delvings worth. But yeah, let's do Mother of Wolves. That one sounds fun. Sounds like we need to kill a big bad wolf, basically. But yeah, I think that's the concern with a system like this, is always the grind. So hopefully it doesn't feel too bad when it's fully released into the game. Defeat the wolf matron. Almost said wolf mother. I don't know if there's a difference though. And 15 wolves, so let's go. See how quick this character can get through it. See if that's at 47 minutes. Oh my damage is terrible. I also should have taken the time to upgrade my ally. I don't know if this is the wolves doing something or if I just had bad RNG with crits and procs. Oh no. Oh, so there actually are. There are different affixes for these guys. They're summoning the chain mobs. I don't really know what it's called. That's the only thing I know to call it, where you just keep getting mob spawning. Maybe this one's only one. But we're getting a mob spawning after they die. So it's going to inherently take a little bit longer because you kind of have to kill twice as many mobs, basically. These ones don't seem to be... Well, maybe the mobs themselves are applying dread, but the spawn mobs... There's a better name for those than spawn mobs or chain mobs, I'm sure, but my brain ain't working right now. I cannot do Control 9. I need to move this back to Shift 6. Like, there's a reason it was there. I was just cleaning up my skill bar earlier to have better visualization of it. Now that I'm getting better RNG, my damage is significantly better. Yeah, the delving mobs. Could call them ghosts, I suppose. Oh, that was good. There's honestly not all that much better in this game than a satisfying vivid imagery, but I guess that's true for any class's AoE. But vivid imagery is really strong for an instant AoE daze. Like having the daze on top of it, I guess, makes it a more satisfying to me. Oh, this is actually bad, okay. Do that, do this. Again, very descriptive, but when I'm pressing all these things with long names in them, I don't have time to say the name. I don't know if vivid imagery hit anything. That probably wasn't the best move, but we'll see. I gotta be careful to not pull even more mobs as well, so we'll try to not do that. Okay, what we got? Okay, Fell Spirit's almost dead. Let's just finish it off. And I did pull more mobs. Also might have heard a cat in the background, but that could just be me. That was risky, but I got 300k damage, so if I don't die, it was worth it. Oh, that's a lot of dread. What are you supposed to do when you have that much dread? It's like, I couldn't even heal it. I don't know. So, with the dread, Zai, it has been a while. Glad to see you here. Thank you for all this time even being a channel member. That's some immense support. But yeah, with the dread, I don't think it's too bad that they just have dread. Like, if you have 7 dread, I don't have a hope token this time. But if you have a decent chunk of dread like that just as part of the mission, I think that's okay. Also, wait, no, I was going to say, I forgot I had this, but okay, I do have my lightning allies equipped. I forgot I had different fire and lightning, sort of. But yeah, I don't have a hope token. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Let's do the perks to hope. I think there's one that gives you 5 hope. Oh, never mind. I guess because it's Boar, I only have 1400 thingies, destiny points. We could go to the LOTRO store. That's honestly the easiest way. So this is something I would assume that a typical level cap character could get hope tokens fairly easily. So I don't mind. Just for beta purposes, I'm not actually spending LOTRO points on this for anybody that doesn't know how Boar works. So like this would be comparable to me using a hope token is basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah, with the dread mechanic, that's what I was going on about. I don't think it's too bad. It's not the most exciting, but I don't think it's too bad if you just have like 7 dread if you're near a mob. But if it adds up by having multiple mobs on you, I'm not the biggest fan of that. So on that note, let's kill one mob and run away so we stop getting the dread. Don't have it stack up on us too much. And that's once again I have to think about if you're a melee class. Maybe I should boost up a champion real quick in the Isengard Tavern, but that'd take a long time. I just don't want to put that time in today. Maybe in a future beta round or when they come to live servers, but yeah, the concern is a melee class, not just champion, but even guardian to an extent. Burglars, maybe. I know they do have a little bit more self-heals, but they're still melee class for the most part. They do have some more ranged abilities than I think both Guardian and Champion. But they're relatively short range, but they are farther than melee at least. I don't think these guys actually need to kill, but Fell spirits are not fun. And the guys that burrow under the ground, both those types of mobs are annoying. I wasn't getting any good procs. It's kind of weird to think of LOTRO as a proc game, but for runekeepers, and I think Beornings if you do the execute stuff, or at least that used to be the case, they are. Those are the only two that are immediately coming to mind though. Classes with proc-based mechanics. I was gonna say, it's gonna get very scary if I just stay there for a long time and get a bunch of dread. Oh yeah, the mobs spawn after them. I totally forgot. I got used to the delvings where they don't. I don't know how I forgot, but I did. Oh, this is the Den Mother, okay. That's, I guess, exciting. On top of all the other, we pulled 3 mobs. But one of them was the Den Mother. 2 more wolves. We can do this. This makes me excited to quest here. Some of these environments are neat. Seem like they'll be fun places to quest, basically. Wow, I was gonna say it's gonna be a miracle if I actually do live through that, but... Oh, how many mobs are alive? I am confused. With the Fell Spirits, I actually did not know how many mobs I was fighting. Two more wolves. Still. Why not just run in melee as a runekeeper? Well, if you don't get any good crits, you might die is why. There we go. But yeah, having really bad procs with Epic Conclusion, it seems like this mission. What's it called? Closing remarks? I actually don't mind if these guys just kill me and then I could... Like, I think that would even port me close to the scout. Oh, never mind, the scout's by the Den Mother. Way back where I was pulling mobs and didn't even know it was the Den Mother. Okay, so this mission did take me under 10 minutes, but it was very close to 10 minutes, so it's not very fast to run these. So if we do it by 10 minutes, then it's 300 minutes or 5 hours for one teal piece of gear, which I think is a bit excessive. So if you can do them closer to 5, this is a very obvious statement, I think, but if you can do them... Where did this port me? Was I here? Oh no, it took me... That's weird, it didn't take me to the missions giver. It took me to the stable master. But anyway, it's kind of obvious to say, yeah, if you can do it at half the time, the, like, time to get the reward is significantly better. But I think it's relatively little. It seems like 5 minutes per mission per tier 10 delving is not that much, but it actually is pretty significant when you think about the number of them, the large quantity you have to do for the reward. Let's destroy some random stuff. And then we can see what we get. More crafting stuff, I bet. Oh no, I actually did get gear. There's some excitement after all, wow. So I got 468, so this is not good gear, is it? It might not actually be that bad gear. Tactical mitigation is not necessarily a bad stat. I just saw like no critical rating or tactical mastery, that is, or finesse. And I was like, well, mainly the mastery and crit rating at this point. But anyway, let me make sure my head is not blocking this so y'all can actually see it. And yes, we did get gear, so I think that is a great thing. You can disenchant it even into 3 delving writs. I think that needs to be changed. 3 delving writs is a little bit ridiculous, small amount from this piece of gear, but I think it is great to see that you can get gear from the delving box. That's like a huge boost to my morale in terms of the delvings. I basically save the delving reward system. Maybe. We'll have to see the drop rate on that. Like if it's something you would expect to get once every 30 missions, I don't know, maybe 1 every 10 missions could be roughly decent. 10% drop rate, that might be a bit high, but it again depends on the quality. This is item level 468, so it's not quite as good as what you can barter for. So this is something, wait, 468? Yeah, it is. This is actually just as good as what you can barter for. Except the stats are distributed a little bit differently, but either way, I thought the numbers on these were 470 something, actually. That is not the case. But anyway, I think it is great to see that you can get those to drop. I'm glad I decided to run one more mission to just personally see that you can indeed get gear to drop directly. But again, I would like to see, like, if you don't need these boots, for example, that to me would feel really bad to have that drop and only be able to get 3 delving writs out of it. I would definitely like to see that increase to like maybe a couple hundred. Just based on my impressions of what I'd seen, I think it does need to be a couple orders of magnitude larger. But I don't know, you all have any thoughts on the gear? It's almost like when I stream, it's just all me talking, but for all I know, my ideas, thoughts could be crazy. Still don't know where to get the base purple stuff here. That could just be, again, something I have not come across, or maybe you have to rely on these being dropped. It could be, yeah, it says Tattered Cloak of Kier Skelebrin. Could be the skirmish, but that would be really weird. Okay, I'm going to stop the local recording. We spent an hour, which I think is pretty good time on the delvings, and might explore the landscape a little bit now. I might try to stand up later again, but I'm also going to go ahead and sit down, I think. And the cat wants to join us. I forgot to put my water bottle in the fridge last night, and the water was looking kind of gross, so I have to wash the water bottle. Wow, she is really excited. That's about usual, but rubbing against the microphone. I also will say that I mentioned this earlier, but obviously not everybody would have been here at the start of the stream, that if you are interested in me checking out anything particular in the beta, now is the time to mention that, because after this, I do plan to do at least a little bit, maybe because it's getting a tad late, not all that much, on my characters on the live servers, to do some before the shadow preparations with leveling. So yeah, please do let me know if there's anything that you want to see in particular that we maybe did not cover in the previous round of beta. But yeah, what I'm intending to do is just kind of do a little bit of a circle type path around this area. Also, hopefully it was not way too loud there. I forget I have to move the microphone slightly when I sit down. But yeah, the landscape's pretty nice here. I also do forget that I'm not, I'm like, keep thinking mobs are gonna aggro me, but this is a low level area. Really like the Gondor skybox here. This is such a change of pace. We're like so rapid and intense with the delving. Need to settle down and get less ready for combat. I do need to see where I'm going though. Okay, so I did want to see the Inedwaith border, like the connection. This would be the old South Road connecting all the way down to Inedwaith from Breland. Would be interesting to actually take that road, but I don't think you could cross it at Tharbad, as far as I know. The cat has taken over, sorry. See, usually she pushes the microphone this way. I know, she's just like pushing it far away so y'all can't hear me. I don't know what I'm running into, but not a good thing. There we go. Okay. So Old South Road, this actually looks very much so what it looks like in Idway. Here we have a level 6 Urukai. That's still hilarious to me. Level 6 Urukai. We've seen some really low level, what are they called? Treants? Something like that. Boars, wolves, Kraben even. I think they kind of make sense to be low level. That was a brigand. But yeah, here is the cleared transition to Innodoy. No, this wasn't quite like this. They've added a huge downhill turn here. Some level 6 4 mobs. I really love having, I've mentioned this before, but I do really love having low level zones next to high level zones. Like, this seems like if you're somebody who for some reason is not familiar with Innodoy and you're just up here, you're following this trail of level 5 mobs, like, okay, this is safe. See where this leads to. Maybe there'll be like level 7 and 8 mobs once you get up here and get to the next path. And then it's like, nope, level 61, Deserter Captain. And yeah, they just straight up open this up. These are the same mobs as far as I know that have always been here. And they just opened it up behind them. Okay, so we can go from here. This is Innodoy as we know it, so nothing special about this from the update, besides, of course, where we came from, and the new map, which I don't think looks great in Innodoy. The new map style of Regian's relatively okay, but the Innodoy one's kind of rough looking to me. The zone just looks a lot prettier, I think, on the land than it does on the map. Okay, so we're going to go to the Hobbit village, the Tor Mulha, something like that. Mahor Tulha. Had the M and T mixed up. So this is what I'm really curious, what the transition would look like in a place like this. I honestly forget exactly what this area looked like. Once we stop battling the mobs and the delvings, we have to battle the cat. But yeah, it seems like it could be different, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. This isn't a place that I frequently visited. That definitely looks different, because that looks open to a whole new area. But yeah, here's the little Hobbit village in Innodoy. Pretty neat little Hobbit village to me. And yeah, it's just open here. I could manage to have two hands on the keyboard if the cat would let me. It's a little bit of a hill here, but it's still like, this is still fairly open. There's the ridge. It seems like it's something, yeah, you can, as far as well, maybe. Whoa, is that clouds? Oh, that's a lake. Why did that look so weird for a moment? Something about that just threw me off when I looked at them, like, is that fog? Clouds? I could not tell. That's on the right, by the way. Y'all can't see where my eyes are looking, but yes, I was looking at the right at the lake there. But what I'm trying to see is if you're like in Innodoy, down here if you could come up here, if there really is only one way up to get to the next zone. Or next zone, but bordering zone. Like where all the connections are, basically, is what I'm wondering. And yeah, it seems like they're... I don't know if this is what this area always looked like. I haven't been here recently enough, but it looks like unless you could jump up, like right here, probably in a not too much intended way, there are no intended paths west of here, basically. Even though that's an area in the game, we just have to find our way back up. That's why I was hesitant to jump down. It seems entirely possible that you could just go up here, though. Like, this isn't out of bounds jumping, because this is... like, this area is new with the new zone. Like, this is right where we were. But yeah, I have no idea what it looks like up here. These are level 8 mobs, so this is back to the low level area, so this is specifically new and not like some extension of Inadway somehow. Somehow completed Fisher King, so that's exciting. Oh, that's Men of Inadway rep. I don't know how I got Men of Inadway rep from what I was doing there, but anyway. This is Wintrev. I'm guessing this is a Hobbit place. They have shrews here. I don't know if they'll have any Hobbit type quests. Maybe there will be some pie deliveries and the such. Oh boy. Are there any nosy or hungry Hobbits? That's the question. I don't want to spoil any of the story, of course, but it's like the first question that comes to mind. I'm like, okay, what are the Hobbit quests going to be here? And yes, Mike, 140 is still the max level until next year's fall update expansion. Landscape is really nice here. They have that. I need to actually find out what the name of that structure is with these rocks, where you can see the sheets between them, the different layers. Yeah, this is a pretty neat view. Slate? Yeah, it could be slate. That looks like orange slate. Not really seeing much that looks quite like this. I've seen it in other games. I'm not sure I've quite seen all that many examples in real life, though. Yeah, it seems like a great place for rock jumping, or if they had a jumping puzzle between some areas like this, that would be pretty fun. Lynn Helig. I'm just wondering, maybe I should have stayed up a little bit and seen what you could do on the river there. I went straight to the rock jumping. Okay, we definitely go down, but I want to stay up. Before I go down, I want to stay up. I forgot the horse stayed out of turn. We could do it. Maybe like yeah, I'm not too sure. It could be shale. It's some sort of stratified, like it has stratified layers. Oops. I need to stop paying attention to that. Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty neat. I won't bother too much about it, but it is something I eventually want to. You know what? We're going to cheat, I think. Can we cheat? Do they have this implemented? Lintrev. There we go. We're going to do an easy port back to where we were. So this is the lake with a nice waterfall right there. Behind the trees, we can't see it. There's the nice waterfall again. Oh, and there's a waterfall right here. There's a bridge. But yeah, I really like the terrain and topography that they have going on here. Just a neat area to explore around. Again, I don't know how the questing will work with this, but something that I look forward to. My concern is there's a whole lot of stuff here, and it just seems like it's going to be so easy to outlevel the content, because you go by the these low levels in the other zones, at least you go by them so fast that you just it seems so hard to get through all this landscape area, not just rapidly outlevel it. That is honestly my biggest concern. Just exploring the area again. I haven't done any of the quests, haven't seen any of that. Ooh, Cobb's Hollow looks very interesting, very neat. Can see some of the distant landscape. That's of course when we go on the borders of the zone, I'm like, what does the distant landscape look like? What are the hints towards the future? I think here, yeah, we're just facing the Mornshaws really. So that's not much of future. That's future if you're a level 12 character and you're looking out this way. That's a future place for you to actually explore. But yeah, new questing experience going to be waiting a couple weeks on that. The trees there look a little too samey. I actually don't mind, for me personally at least, if there are areas with, even if all the trees are basically the same in a relatively small area, I kind of like that look. I do like this forest. It's not all dense, cram-packed like Northern Mirkwood. And some of the forests in Gondor, this one's actually really appealing to me. They got some nice spiderweb looks going on. Sometimes it's nice to not worry about gear, the reward system for delvings, and just walk around the new landscape area. So this looks fairly boxed in from here. Again, I think that's Mornshaws that we're bordering, so that is a place in the game. I wouldn't mind trying to test at some point if you can go straight from Mornshaws down here. Doesn't seem like there's an easy way up. But if you're, I'm thinking once again from the relatively, I don't know, new player or somebody who's just not familiar with the level of Enedwaith, and you're just here and you're like, okay, you see there's another zone. Oh, Mornshaws is right there. I think it's still something that builds kind of that interest of what's moving, what's going to be there, and give you a drive to go there eventually, I think. But I don't know if that's really the case for a lot of people. It's just the impression that I get from that. Fortunately, we have some ugly bushes here, but we did find out that there were indeed some in the zone. Yeah, so I have, ever since we moved from Anor, have all my characters on Landrabel, so I'll have to think about what I want to make. I was thinking Runekeeper, which I guess I'm playing Runekeeper now, wouldn't be bad. But the problem is with a character like that, I already have a high-level Runekeeper, so the question is, what's the point of that character going to be? And I also have a level 105-ish Runekeeper on Landrabel, so it's not only do I have a level cap Runekeeper, I have another character that's kind of medium, well, at that point, fairly high level. But it's still that was a bit odd. What would be the long-term plan for that Runekeeper? And is it just going to be eventually a low-level Runekeeper that it's like a character just to go through before the Shadow without much purpose? That wouldn't be preferred by me, but maybe we'll have another lobby group with my kinship. I think there is actually some plans for that. So potentially this character could be if I want to do group content on a Runekeeper, he could be a good option with that. I want up on this rock. It seems like they're trying very hard to keep me from getting up there, which just makes me want on it even more. I mainly want to see the view. I don't know if it's like you can jump to unintended areas if you go up on that rock. It's probably their thinking, but like you can clearly get to the other side just based on the landscape there, so eventually we'll just go to the other side. But yeah, here's a little bit of a different view. I don't know, when I thought of the new zone, I don't think I would have thought of terrain like this, which is in this area. Like this, the two zones are just so huge. That's why I keep getting concerned about them being only level 1 to 32. I'm like, how do you have these two ginormous zones and not have way too many quests to get us to like level 40 or something? But we'll see how it actually shakes out. It's just a bit of wonder for now. Let's dismount and get my war steed. Oh yeah, the minstrel changes might not be a bad opportunity for that. The minstrel changes, for anybody not familiar, that came with update 33.2. Minstrel got a decently significant revamp. Hey, a treasure cache is here. If anybody is trying to find all these ahead of the expansion release. We got 200 and 100 virtue XP, so 300 virtue XP, that's not bad. Okay, I don't think I'm supposed to be going up there. There's a boar up there, though. If a boar can go up there, why can't I? Okay, eventually we will clear through all that foliage. Here you get a very nice distant view. Is that I can't quite tell. Oh, that's just the road. It looked a little bit weird at first. But yeah, this is just nice distant view again. We're looking, for reference, northwest, so we're looking basically straight towards Wadewater, the swampy area there. Except there's a whole bunch of hills and such, so the swampy area is right there. There is going to be kind of mossward, that area, to the left. There's unknown landscape is probably what that is. That would be towards western Eregion, and yeah, I think mainly just western Eregion. And yeah, that is what we are looking at. Hobbit villages are northeast up there, and also one sort of somewhere hidden from here. I should have gotten on my mount. I jumped too greedily. Let's see, do I actually want to try to go back up to make that jump? Yes, I do. I'm now determined to make that jump. Where was that jump? I already forgot. Oh yeah, it's right there. I'm gonna get on that rock. And it's probably, okay, going to jump from here. Hopefully the worst steed, yeah, that's what I was worried about. Frosty beverages you get from the Yule Festival. Not too familiar with those. Oh, are they speed boost ones? I might be aware of those, or knew those were a thing, but didn't know specifically like Yule Festival. This is why that was a lot of uhs and ums. This is why I don't usually use the war steed to actually get to where I want to make the jump. I think I could do this with the non-war steed as well. If it jumps. Okay, I'm sorry guys, this is just straight embarrassing at this point. Like, I'm having more difficulty with this than the tier 10 delvings. I don't even know if it's possible to jump on this, but I haven't even gotten to a point where I can find out if they have it walled off. I think we need to get a horse. Problem is the goats just aren't good with the hills and mountains here. Phew. That was tough. Alright, let's see the reward. Mainly this view. Okay, don't just fall off. So that is going to be towards the... oh, that is actually Clegger? I thought that was called, like, Mossword or something. Oh, Mossword's over there. What level's Mossword? Mossword? And what level's Clegger? Is Clegger, like, the new starting spot? I don't know. That looks like a Hobbit village from here. Those look like Hobbit houses. I mean, it would make sense if it's Hobbit. That might also be Hobbit, I don't know. I don't think these hills necessarily block travel. You can go up and on a lot of these rocks that you can see here. There are a lot of different paths, but I'm not entirely sure here. I think there are some that you probably could not traverse, though. Okay, I don't think the war steed can make it that far, but since I'm kind of done here, I gotta try. I don't even think I can get speed that quickly. Wow, it's actually closer than I thought, to be honest. Okay, I gotta try something else. This one's riskier jump. That's why it was risky. Misadventure. Always killing me. Anyway, we got easy port down. And yeah, I think as I wrap things up here with the beta, we'll save more exploration. There might be another beta round we could do with some of our Before the Shadow previews and the such, and something or other. Yeah, we can do more exploration, more testing of the delvings. The skirmish could even get to at some point, but probably not. After I already did my first look at that, and yeah, just really neat area. I was kind of curious if I find a mob or something, just see what level area this is, if this might be the new intro experience. I have no idea, but there's a cat, and that's all that matters, is they have cats here, so that is good. I feel like these hobbits have a nicer place. Like, I'd probably, if I had to live in a hobbit area, I'd probably much prefer, like, Clegger over anything in the Shire. Yonder Shire would be kind of medium tier. These are level 10-ish, so it's not very low level here. And then these would probably be top tier hobbit area for me. The Shire itself, like, bottom tier. But yeah, I think I'll get to leveling. I'll probably only get to my Warden is what I anticipate. I was hoping to maybe check out the Minstrel and even Guardian, but I'll probably save them for another day when I do some more before the shadow preparations. And we will get on to the Warden. But yeah, this is general look of this area. There are a lot of bushes, but not too many ugly bushes. There are some areas of relatively dense ugly bushes. These bushes you can't really see in, but they're at least more visually appealing. There's a cluster of ugly bushes, which makes that area look a lot more ugly. Like, it's just something I'm looking at. Wow, that area looks a lot uglier than this area. And it's just because of these bushes, I think. And the reason I complain about these, I know it's somewhat of a running joke at this point, but it really is like something that if those were gone, I would think that area looks significantly better, because we can see kind of comparable right here. There are none of those bushes. And I personally find this area a lot more visually appealing, like this patch, and then this patch over here. And the difference, the bushes. So on that note, let's go to the live servers and level some sort of character. Eventually this will switch over. I forget you don't actually disconnect when you switch between the beta and live server. This will not be Warden leveling. That is something I could have gotten to if I had started things when I intended and left me more time to play. But Josh Roth, you are curious how I stay interested in LOTRO. Well, one reason, to be honest, is content creation. That does help keep me motivated to continue to play the game. I also don't play all that frequently, mainly because I just can't play that frequently. But if I could see myself, if I played this game every day, getting kind of tired of it. I know when there have been periods where I've played the game a lot, done the dailies, the weeklies, all that sort of stuff, like every time, then I could get burnt out really fast. That's particularly thinking about end game content though. This is Langerball, right? Yes, okay. I got confused with my character list for a second there. But yeah, that actually would be a concern with LOTRO, is for in-game content, there's a lot of repetitive and not much variety. I think the things we have coming up, the whatchamacallit, delvings, yes, delvings will help with that, and it'll give like an option for when you don't have people on to play in a group with, so that is nice. And that would help keep me interested, I think, in LOTRO. And then as far as questing guy, I used to not so much be that, but nowadays I am. Oh, I have the missions. I did do some missions with somebody earlier today, so I did get some of this stuff. I'll probably get... I wonder at this point, the thing is with crafting materials, that stuff is not permanent. And I'd like to get something that's a little bit more permanent towards my character, which would be character boost, so I just can't not go with this one. As far as Virtue XP, I'd still really consider tossing that off to Warden, but I am at a point where this character can use those, even though he will have tons of extra Virtue XP coming up when we have the next 10% Virtue XP weekend. Faction Wars, so that would be like PvMP for LOTRO. And the Etten Wars, I believe that's only PvMP zone. I also do have another set of dailies to turn in, it looks like. That is something that I think does keep quite a few people playing, but for me it's just something I've never gotten all that much into. Did a tiny bit of it during level, maybe a little bit of it, more than a tiny bit, during the level 75 cap and Rise of Isengard. We are wanting to go to Karbronek. I hope that's the right place. I assume I've only discovered one place in Karbronek. Okay, good. Just making sure I didn't have any important notifications, and I did not. So we can now continue the adventures. I also have a quest here, it looks like. I don't necessarily think I will be doing a lot of these quests, but I'll pick them up just in case I run into them. That's basically the strategy here. We'll track nearby quests, which should give me all these quests. And that is where we're going to go, and that's might be, depending how long it takes, that might be the only quest that I get done on this character, because I am... It's only 8:30, but I'm like extra tired today, probably because I got up at what, like 6:30? No, I got up at like 7ish. It was a little bit later, which isn't that early for me, but I accidentally went to bed later the previous night. Which would have been last night. Okay, so we have quests to do here. I think this character can pretty much handle just spamming range resounding challenge. I know we're getting at a point where the difficulty kind of catches up, at least I think that was my experience the initial run through with Warden. As this is kind of when I had to start paying a little bit more attention to my health, basically. So that's something I'm a little bit aware of going through this. Also, not having lag would be significantly helpful. Oh, he was a signature. I'm like, he didn't die from all the stuff I did before, and we had never surrender trigger. I shouldn't even have put it up. Well, I got a quest ready to advance. Maybe it involved killing things, because that would be my guess. Went to bed at 5 a.m. Wow, that's like... Fortunately, not anymore. I was going through a streak of waking up between 4:30 and 5:30. I don't know why. Actually, at one point, like during summer, the sunrise was like right at 5:30, and I would always wake up right at 5:30. It could be entirely coincidence because I kept waking up at 5:30 beyond that. But, man, those were the good old days earlier this year. But yeah, then beyond that, I started waking up at 4:30 every morning, which was just kind of ridiculous. 5:30 was already ridiculous, but 4:30 is more inexplainable. Like, not that there's reason for me to wake up at 5:30. There's definitely no reason for me to wake up at 4:30. But we got past that. And now I just kind of wake up at very random times. My health is low. Yeah, that was kind of bad. I wonder if it's the range guy, so if they keep hitting me... yeah, these guys. Okay, we have seized the moment, so I can hopefully heal up nicely here. I killed him, but something hit me for a lot there. Fire pot, that's what's killing me, okay. Alright, minor detour. We're okay. I could spend a mithril coin and travel there. Oh, 5 mithril coins? Never mind. I probably would not do it for 1 mithril coin, but I'd consider it. Definitely not a thought for 5. Once I itch my nose once, it's like it doesn't stop being itchy. So while we're traveling, something I'm just thinking about a little bit is upcoming content. I believe next Tuesday is when we're intending to get to the next fellowship chat, which I believe we'll have a third person joining us. Need to confirm the time, so I don't know exactly when it will be, but we'll be with Bright Life again, as well as a new person. What is their channel name? I know the creator's name behind the channel. I remember their name. I'm just bad with names. I feel bad, but Rescue Fat, that is their channel name. So I believe they will be trying to join us as a third member of that, and the topic will be kind of relevant to what I was doing earlier today before the Shadow Beta and just expectations for the launch of the mini expansion. So it's these siege engineers and that fire pot that we gotta avoid. The drudges are the ones I was like, maybe the drudges are doing all the damage, but nope. And what's scary is if they do 70k like that, where did my javelin go to? I do not think I was targeting that engineer, but maybe I'm crazy. Well, we know I'm crazy, but maybe I'm just extra crazy. That ain't much help if he already has range resounding challenge on. So basically, kind of like with the delving, I have to employ a little bit more strategy here. Okay, I interrupted one of them. I'll remove my bleed. It's kind of crazy that I think the siege engineer is significantly more scary than the signature. It's kind of like those goblins, the sappers, even like the little green sappers. I think they're green sappers. Their damage tunage is very high. So they're like often the scariest mobs in a... Oh, I thought it said like you were too low level or something. I wonder if this is one of the ones that finally gives me sunstone shards. I don't think it's something I care all that much about at this point, but just curious. But yeah, back to fellowship chat, just to finish some thoughts on that. Something to look forward to next week. Again, anticipate that being on Tuesday, a week before. I was about to say good and bad, but a week before the Shadow launch date. And almost kind of like a follow-up to the previous one, because we just didn't get to all the topics in the previous one about before the Shadow, but also because now that beta is out, we have a little bit more to talk to. And I don't know moving forward in the future if the episodes will be that frequently, but it seemed like people enjoyed the first one, was pretty interactive with the community, which I enjoyed. I know this is the wrong way to interpret that, but Bella, when you say Tuesday will be another fun stream, that makes me think that regular streams aren't fun. But yes, Tuesday should be a fun stream. I think the big difference that I will be changing between the first episode and the second one is that I will be giving a lot more time for the different topics that I had planned out, and not planning quite as much variety. Hologrod instance? Uh-oh. I'm confused. I was daydreaming about the next Fellowship chat episode. I realized I hadn't been talking for a while, and I was actually daydreaming about the next Fellowship chat. And like what the topics would be, basically. And one of the things, I guess what I was thinking about was like the introduction of the topics. A lot of them oh, this looks like Heligrad. Yes, this is not Heligrad. This is outside Gunabad and Carbronak. The Witch Gate is what it's called. But yeah, when I introduce the topics, often I would phrase it as a question to Bright Life, which wasn't necessarily the intention. It's okay if it, like, some of them flow that way, and some of them, like, were legitimately questions for Bright Life, especially with the whole new player thing, like the first half of the episode. But yeah, that's something that I don't think necessarily should be the case in all of them, because the general idea is that everybody, whoever's like guest or on the show or whatever, like equally contributes to discussion about whatever topic. And less Q&A format, basically. But I don't think it was too bad in those regards. Jason, I do not stream on Twitch. It's been quite a few years since I even tried, and I did not like it then. Oh yeah, we have to escort her? Him? Her? I thought it was a her. I'm still not entirely sure, to be honest. There's good old fire pot. I did about... I don't think I saw my health right. I was like, I don't think it only did 20k damage. So I have to collect orders from Dower Hand. I also never did get over here. Treasure cache. And flag. Okay, so we're gonna let that guy induct, but then go behind the wall so he can't finish it. And then the guy that never got any good damage stuff on him, I'll finish him off. Apparently this guy also never got good damage stuff on him. But yeah, with the whole Twitch versus YouTube thing, maybe I should make a video about that. But it's just been so long since I've streamed on Twitch. But I think both, for me, for both the viewer and streamer perspective, I actually prefer YouTube. One of the reasons is YouTube is a lot higher quality for people that care about that thing. I mean, video quality, like, they give the video, I think it would be at higher bitrate than Twitch. They also have higher recommended settings for the streamer to upload. Oh, Tome of Continual XP. Do I want to use that? 10% item XP? Wait, 10% XP and 5% item XP. That's a pretty hilarious item. But yeah, the actual quality, video quality, is higher on YouTube, which I think is just a good thing. That's more from the, I guess, both streamer and viewer perspective. That means for you all, you get higher visual quality. I know I also I record portions of my stream locally, so you also get... Wait, I have to destroy 8 standards and I've only destroyed 1? I thought I destroyed a whole bunch of those things. How could I have only done 1? Well, here's another one. That's kind of crazy to me. Oh, they're these big. Maybe that would be why. I just didn't see these. Are these in sets of 2 going the whole way down? If I remember correctly, I did the same thing on Louisden, and they're actually spread throughout the camps. We're gonna get this Dower Hand Slayer D done on accident. Like, for a character that supposedly is just focusing on the book quest, I don't know if that is actually a good question. Is this quest worth doing? If I really am focused mainly on the book quest. the single quest. I don't mind doing the one to rescue Muta or whatever. I just have to kill a lot more dour hands. I have quested down here on a previous character, so that is one of the reasons I've decided that this character is just going to do the book quest, is I have done all these quests on Louisden. And while if I had time, I would love to do all the side quests, I am interested in getting to level 140 to do the delvings, especially considering, I guess this doesn't matter too much actually for this character, but with the trait point changes, it helps me feel like I can level a little bit more just how I want, but it's more so the opposite of things. This character actually would benefit from that. I forgot how many trait points this guy had, but I know he fell behind. There's one more he could have gotten at level 130, and of course he can get a few more from the Legacy of Durin, so I guess I'm not actually that far behind. I actually have, I think, 2 missing from level 130 plus as animals are, so that would be 3 total. Yeah, remove the... Ooh, bad stun time. But yeah, I want to get level 140 to be at the level cap for any skirmish we run as a group, as a kin, as a pug even, to see how the rewards are for that. I honestly have no idea what the rewards look like. It'd be really neat if it actually dropped gear. Okay, she's asking for a lot here with her axe and dagger. It's a pretty fun weapon combo though. And I have to find the horn. She's quite needy. I guess she does want the key to freedom. Seems like there'd be another way to get her out without the key. Like, just consider this for a moment. There's no bottom. Like, it doesn't look like it's anchored into the ground at all. Why can't we just lift it? Are we that weak? It's entirely possible. I'm not that mighty. I only have 5,928 might. Let's do this safely. Very safe. Oh wow, I could actually land here. I thought I'd just slide off of it, to be honest. If only update 34 were out, I'd be faster and that wouldn't have lasted as long. Oh, there's the boss. That is not the game that I wanted to use. I guess I'll just go full desolation at this point. Or we will get stunned. It's another possibility. Would this be 5 mytho coins again? That is kind of ridiculous. And then I think this might be an escort. Oh no, we have to free. Finish. Wow, she actually used a force taunt, an NPC that's actually helpful. This might be, I honestly don't remember this from Louisden, but this is one of the... Actually, I kind of remember her in parts being somewhat helpful. But still, that is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in an MMO. An escort NPC being useful. That's crazy. Okay, so I believe we just go to town, basically. And yeah, we'll Let's do this somewhat safely, at least. Oh. 45 seconds, not too bad. But yeah, I think after I get this turned in, I haven't been making any progress on the book quest. Maybe we can search for some beasts along the way. Hillbat, would that count as a beast, I think? I will turn this in and then we'll have to reorient ourselves with the book quest, I think. I'll get 4 of these beasts and then we'll... I think next time... Yeah, probably next time... get refocused on the book quests and less landscape quests. This character has priorities, and it's oddly the opposite of what I normally do. These Shadow Grims aren't like tough to defeat, they're just kind of have some annoying stuff, but I think they are at the point where I can hit them and ignore them. So I guess we can also get some progress on that. The Moore's Ba. You said I gotta play something besides the Warden. Not sure that's necessarily the case, but actually earlier this stream, I did play something other than the Warden. It's kind of crazy, but it did happen. I think for a whole hour of gameplay, I'll say. And then probably almost 2 hours? How long have I been streaming? Maybe not quite 2 hours, but a bit under 2 hours of total time off the Warden. And I also intend both Minstrel Guardian to come up somewhat soon, as well as Beorning a little bit could actually mix in, and for a 4th one, Runekeeper. So we'll be getting some variety, along with, of course, continued Warden playtime moving forward. Alright, turn in, continue. I want to turn this quest in already. There we go. Do I get anything useful? And do I even have room for that useful potential stuff in my inventory? Nope. So let's sell 1 thing, 2 things, and 3 things. Wow. That was a mighty meow. I don't think I want any of these. I was so excited for the rewards. I'll just accept these, and yeah, I'm thinking we can even accept these. Again, I don't think I'll get to actually doing these quests, but might as well accept them, because if I happen to get them done, then as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty great. I'll also go ahead and use that for basically no reason, but it's 6 hours, so it'll last a bit. And yeah, as far as upcoming content, that is something that I did not talk about. Upcoming content, I might have a stream of a different game coming up soon. I know that's kind of crazy. It's almost as crazy as me playing a class that's not the Warden. But yeah, we'll continue with Before the Shadow preparations, and I already mentioned Tuesday I have Fellowship chat planned. I'll hopefully have an actual video up before Tuesday as well. And otherwise, that is the general outlook for the future. And on that note, I hope you all enjoyed this stream and checking out the updated delvings. Experience was better this time. Also got to see some of the rewards, which was really exciting. So yeah, it helps me look forward to the delvings a little bit more, but we'll talk about that later and see how it actually works in game after the beta, because the beta testing is inherently very limited and we have not had many rounds of beta, and the expansion set to come out in just a couple weeks. But still looking forward to it. A lot of the stuff with the landscape that we explored as well was quite exciting, and as usual, Piper's very much so looking forward to Before the Shadow and all the content and cat scratches that come with that. So on that note, I hope you all enjoyed all that, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for watching, everyone.